Have you ever wondered why you suddenly wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning, as if something unseen has tapped you on the shoulder? In that still dark hour, when the world sleeps and the noise of life has faded, there is a silence so pure it almost feels sacred. It's not just another random moment in your night. It is a rare window, a call from something deeper, inviting you to pay attention. This is not a coincidence. This is a moment that can change the direction of your life if you choose to use it. Most people roll over, close their eyes, and slip back into unconsciousness, unaware that they've just let a golden opportunity pass them by. But those who understand the hidden power of this time know it is the hour when the mind is unguarded, the heart is open, and the soul is listening. It's the space between dreams and reality where inspiration can slip through without resistance. In this moment, you are closer to your true self than at any other time of day. There are no emails, no phone calls, no distractions. There is only you, your thoughts, and the gentle hum of your own awareness. Your mind, free from the chaos of the day, becomes fertile ground for clarity. Problems that seemed impossible yesterday can suddenly reveal their answers. Goals that felt distant can appear vividly within reach. The silence gives you the chance to hear what you've been ignoring. The quiet guidance that is always there but drowned out by the noise of the world. Right now, your brain operates differently, slipping into slower rhythms that allow insight, creativity, and intuition to rise naturally to the surface. When you wake at this time, you are being offered a choice: to slip back into sleep or to rise into a new level of awareness. The first keeps you in the cycle you've always known. The second opens the door to transformation. If you take this time seriously, it can become the most powerful part of your day, the seed from which everything else grows. There is something profoundly empowering about knowing you are awake when the world is not. You feel a sense of ownership over your time, a sense of alignment with something larger than yourself. This is the hour when great ideas are born, when breakthroughs happen, when direction becomes clear. It is when you can speak to your own heart without interruption and decide what kind of person you will be when the sun rises. If you stay with me, you will discover exactly how to harness these rare moments so they no longer pass you by. You will learn how to turn this strange, quiet awakening into a force that drives your success, strengthens your spirit, and transforms your days. This is your moment. It's time to step into it fully. When you find yourself awake in those early hours, understand that something within you is speaking. Ananda, it is a quiet urging, a whisper beneath the noise of your everyday life, reminding you that you are meant for more than drifting through each day on autopilot. This is a summons to rise, not just from your bed, but from the limitations you've been living under. Every second you spend awake in this stillness is a chance to take control, to break patterns that have held you in place, and to step into the life you have been too distracted or too afraid to claim. The mind you have in this moment is not weighed down by the constant demands of the world. It is raw, open, and receptive. Thoughts are sharper. Feelings are clearer. This is why what you choose to focus on now matters more than you realize. Fill this time with intention and you plant seeds that will grow throughout your entire day. Neglect it, and you allow old habits, fears, and doubts to take root again. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind, and right now the gate is wide open. Choose carefully what you let in. There is a reason clarity feels stronger here. The distractions that pull you in 100 directions during the day are silent. Your attention belongs fully to you. This is the perfect moment to confront the truths you've been avoiding, to look directly at the areas of your life where you have been settling for less. Do not turn away from them. Stare at them until you feel the weight of what you've been ignoring. That discomfort is the first sign that change is possible, because it means you care enough to want more. This hour is also when fear loses some of its grip. In the daylight, fear disguises itself as logic, as practicality, as the voice telling you to wait for a better time. But here, in this quiet, fear is exposed. You can see it for what it is, a barrier you've built to keep yourself safe from the unknown. If you're honest, you'll realize that the unknown you've been avoiding is exactly where your growth lives. So breathe deeply. Let the stillness fill you. To feel your heartbeat is a reminder that you are alive, capable, and connected to a purpose that runs deeper than the routine you've been living. Tell yourself that this is not just another morning. This is the line between who you've been and who you are becoming. Every choice you make now carries power. Every thought you feed shapes the path ahead. Stand in this moment fully awake, because it has been given to you for a reason. And when you act on it, everything in your life begins to shift. This quiet window before dawn is a rare gift, but it is a gift that demands your participation. If you meet it with laziness or distraction, it will slip away unnoticed, leaving you unchanged. But if you meet it with intention, it becomes a force that reshapes your mind, your energy, and your direction. The first step is to protect the purity of this moment. Do not let your thoughts scatter. Do not reach for the noise of the outside world. Let your awareness settle inward, where the deepest answers have been waiting for you to listen. Your breathing is the key to entering this state fully. Slow it down. Make every inhale deliberate, every exhale complete. With each breath, you are reminding your body and mind that you are in control, not the racing thoughts that usually dictate your day. This is how you claim the stillness, how you prepare your mind to receive insight instead of noise. Your body will relax, your focus will sharpen, and the mental fog will begin to lift. You will feel a different kind of alertness, one that is calm yet powerful, grounded yet alive. From here, you must decide what energy will define your day. You can choose to carry forward the weight of yesterday, replaying mistakes and clinging to doubts. Or you can choose to release them right here, in this silence, before they tighten their grip again. Let go of the resentment. Let go of the disappointment. Let go of the excuses you have been feeding yourself. They serve no purpose now. In their place, choose clarity, courage, and commitment. This is not about making grand promises you will not keep. It is about aligning your inner state with the life you say you want. You cannot build strength while nurturing weakness. You cannot live with purpose while filling your mind with distraction. Right now, you have the chance to reset, to make decisions from a place of truth, not habit. To direct your thoughts toward the vision you carry deep within, the one that feels too big to say out loud but refuses to leave your heart. Hold that vision clearly in your mind. See it without distortion, without doubt. Let yourself feel what it would be like to live it. The mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined reality and one that already exists, so give it a blueprint that inspires action. This is how you start shaping the path ahead. Not by waiting for the right time, but by claiming the time you have now. As the world sleeps, you are awake, alert, and choosing your life deliberately. And that choice, repeated morning after morning, will become the foundation of everything you are destined to achieve. Gratitude is the force that unlocks the full power of this moment. When you direct your first thoughts toward appreciation, you train your mind to see possibility instead of limitation. Every single thing you are grateful for, no matter how small, shifts your brain into a state that is open, creative, and ready to act. This is not a hollow exercise. It is the deliberate shaping of your emotional state before the world has a chance to shape it for you. Begin by acknowledging the fact that you are here, awake, and alive. That alone is a privilege denied to many. Feel the depth of that truth, the air in your lungs, the steady beat of your heart, the strength of your body, no matter its current condition, the opportunities waiting for you, even if you cannot yet see them. Gratitude sharpens your focus on what is working, what is possible, and what can be built upon. It starves fear of the attention it needs to grow, and it replaces it with the calm certainty that you already have more than enough to take the next step. As you allow this feeling to fill you, notice how it begins to change your posture, your breathing, and your inner dialogue. The energy of lack starts to dissolve. The constant pull toward worry weakens. You no longer approach the day from a place of desperation, but from a place of abundance. This matters because the mind acts on what it believes is true. And when it believes there is enough time, enough ability, enough opportunity, it begins to find evidence that supports that belief. Gratitude also humbles you. It reminds you that you are not alone in your journey. Even in the moments when you feel unsupported, there have been people, moments, and forces that have shaped your path for the better. Recognizing them strengthens your resolve to keep moving forward, not out of fear of failure, but out of respect for the gift of life itself. This is why starting your waking hours with gratitude is not optional if you seek real transformation. It rewires your emotional response before challenges even appear. It ensures that when the tests of the day arrive, you meet them with perspective rather than panic. It builds resilience in the quiet so that when the noise comes, you are already steady. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it. Let gratitude anchor you in the truth that you have everything you need to take the next step toward the life you desire. Hold on to it as you breathe deeply. This feeling is your foundation, and when you rise from it, every action you take will carry more power, more clarity, and more purpose than it ever could without it. This is how you begin your day unshakable. With gratitude anchoring your mind, you are now ready to align with the vision that will define your future. This is the moment to step beyond vague hopes and unclear wishes. It is the moment to see, with absolute precision, the life you are choosing to build. Do not rush this. Let the image come into focus until it feels so real you can almost reach out and touch it. See the details, feel the emotions, hear the sounds of that life. The more vivid it becomes, the more your mind begins to accept it as possible, even inevitable. Your subconscious is most open in these quiet hours. It is free from the resistance it throws up during the chaos of the day. This is your chance to speak directly to it, to program it with a clear direction instead of leaving it to run on the same old patterns. Picture the person you want to be, not someday but now. See how they carry themselves. Feel the confidence in their decisions. Notice the discipline in their actions. Let every part of that image sink deep into you until it no longer feels like a distant dream but a present reality. The power of this exercise is not just in imagining, but in believing. Belief is the bridge between thought and action. Without it, the vision fades into fantasy. With it, the vision becomes a blueprint your mind works toward with relentless focus. In this moment, you are telling yourself a new story about who you are, and your mind will fight to make that story true. This is why you must remove hesitation. Doubt in these moments is a thief. It steals momentum before it even begins. Replace every what if I fail with a what if I succeed. Replace every reason it can't be done with one reason it can. This is not blind optimism. It is intentional conditioning. You are training your brain to work for you instead of against you. Once you feel the vision fully, let it set the tone for your day. Ask yourself what actions the person in that vision would take this morning. How would they speak? How would they respond to challenges? What would they focus on first? Then commit to acting in alignment with those answers, not just for an hour, but for the entire day. By doing this, you are not waiting for the future to arrive. You are living it before it comes. And when you live it consistently, it stops being something you're reaching for and starts being something you are. That is how transformation happens. Not through sudden luck or rare opportunity, but through the daily decision to live from your vision until it becomes your reality. This is the work that begins before the sun rises. When your vision is clear, the next step is to connect with the source of strength that goes beyond your own effort. In these early hours, when the mind is quiet and the heart is open, you have the chance to align with something greater than yourself. Call it faith, call it higher guidance, call it the deeper wisdom within. It is the force that steadies you when your own strength feels small. This is the moment to turn inward and upward, to acknowledge that you are not carrying your journey alone. Close your eyes and let your breathing guide you deeper. With each inhale, imagine drawing in clarity and peace. With each exhale, release every trace of tension. Allow yourself to feel supported, not just by the air filling your lungs, but by the awareness that you are part of something vast and purposeful. You may not have all the answers, but you are not meant to. Answers often come not when you demand them, but when you create the stillness to hear them. This is why prayer, meditation, or simple quiet reflection can be so powerful at this hour. It is not about empty words or forced thoughts. It is about honest connection. Speak from the truth of where you are without pretense. Express gratitude for what you have. Admit the areas where you need guidance and open yourself to receive it. You are not here to control everything. You are here to align yourself so that your actions flow in the right direction. The mind in this state becomes sharper, but it also becomes humbler. You begin to realize that strength is not the absence of vulnerability, but the willingness to remain open even when you are unsure. This openness invites insight that logic alone cannot provide. It can come as a quiet knowing, a sudden idea, or a deep sense of peace that tells you are exactly where you need to be. Let that peace sink in. Let it replace the anxiety that tells you are behind. Let it silence the noise that says you are not enough. When you rise from this moment, you will do so with a steadiness that cannot be shaken by the small irritations of the day. You will speak with more conviction, act with more purpose, and move through your hours with a quiet confidence that others can feel. This is the deeper reason for waking in these early hours. It is not just to plan, not just to think, but to connect. To remember that your strength is multiplied when it is rooted in something beyond you. And when you step into the day from that place, every challenge becomes smaller, every decision becomes clearer, and every step you take carries the weight of purpose. Clarity is only as powerful as the questions you dare to ask yourself in it. In these early hours, when your mind is unclouded and your heart is steady, the quality of your questions will determine the quality of your direction. Most people ask questions that keep them trapped, questions that focus on what is wrong, on why things never change, on what might go wrong. But when you deliberately ask questions that open possibility, you rewire your thinking to look for solutions instead of problems. The brain is a seeker by nature. Give it something worth finding. Ask yourself what matters most today. Ask what single action would bring you closer to the person you are becoming. Ask where you have been holding back, and what would happen if you stopped. These are not idle thoughts. They are keys. Each question is a door, and the answer you choose to walk through will shape the path ahead. In this silence, there is no one to impress, no one to judge you, no distractions to dilute your honesty. You can face your truth without fear, because here, the only thing that exists is the conversation between you and yourself. Do not shy away from the hard questions. Ask why you continue habits that steal your energy. Ask what you have been avoiding, and how much it has already cost you. Ask if you are living in alignment with the vision you claim to have. The discomfort these questions bring is not your enemy. It is the pressure that breaks through the layers of denial and forces you into awareness. And awareness is the first step toward change. Once the questions are asked, be still. Let the answers rise without forcing them. They may not come as full sentences. They might come as a feeling, a pull, a sudden image in your mind. Trust it. Your deepest wisdom rarely shouts. It speaks in a whisper that is easy to miss if you rush past it. Give yourself the space to listen fully, without judgment or resistance. The answers you find in these moments will not just guide you for the morning. They can shift the entire course of your life if you act on them. One clear decision made from a place of honesty can undo years of drifting. One question answered with courage can cut through years of hesitation. This is the power you hold in your hands right now. When you leave this time of reflection, carry those answers with you like a compass. Let them influence your choices, your conversations, your energy. Let them be the standard you measure your actions against. Because when your questions are deliberate and your answers are honest, you stop living on autopilot and start living by design. And that is when life begins to transform. The clarity you gain in these early hours must be directed into deliberate action. Without action, even the most powerful insights fade into the background of daily life. This is the time to take what you have seen, felt, and decided, and translate it into a plan you will follow when the day unfolds. Your mind is at its sharpest, your energy undiluted by distractions, and your focus fully available. Use it to set the tone for everything that will follow. Begin by identifying the non-negotiables of your day, the actions that, if completed, will make today a step toward your vision. Keep them clear and specific. This is not the place for endless lists that drain your motivation before you begin. It is about choosing the few things that truly matter, the things that align with the person you are becoming. When you define them now, you eliminate the room for hesitation later. As you create this plan, picture yourself executing it with precision. See the moments where you will need discipline and already decide that you will meet them with strength. Anticipate the temptations and distractions and resolve in advance that they will not control you. This mental rehearsal prepares your brain to respond with action instead of indecision when the time comes. You are building a script for your day, one that keeps you aligned with your highest priorities instead of reacting to whatever demands appear. This planning is not just about productivity, it is about alignment. Every action you choose should be connected to the life you are working to create. When your daily steps and your greater vision point in the same direction, momentum becomes inevitable. And momentum is what turns effort into results faster than anything else. Do not underestimate the power of this intentional start. Most people allow the day to dictate their focus, reacting to situations rather than directing them. But you are choosing a different path. You are deciding before the day even begins what will matter, where your energy will go, and what you will ignore. This single act separates those who drift from those who build, who write your plan if you need to. Keep it visible. Let it serve as a constant reminder of the decisions you made while your mind was clear and your heart was steady. Throughout the day, return to it when you feel yourself being pulled off course. Remember that this plan is not just a set of tasks. It is a declaration of who you are choosing to be. By the time the rest of the world wakes, you will already be in motion, moving with purpose and certainty. You will not be waiting for the day to inspire you. You will already have created your own inspiration. And from that place, every hour that follows becomes an extension of the clarity and power you claimed before the sun even rose. Before you step fully into the flow of the day, you must free yourself from the weight of yesterday. Carrying the past into the present is like trying to run with heavy chains around your ankles. No matter how motivated you feel, you will move slower, tire sooner, and struggle to see the progress you deserve. These early hours are the perfect moment to release what no longer serves you, because your mind is clear enough to see it and strong enough to let it go. Close your eyes and bring to the surface anything that has been lingering in your thoughts. Mistakes you keep replaying, conversations you wish had gone differently, regrets that whisper to you when you are alone. Face them without flinching. They are not here to define you. They are here to be acknowledged and released. What happened is unchangeable, but what you carry forward is entirely your choice. You can keep the lesson and leave the weight behind. Let go of resentment toward others, not because they always deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. Resentment chains you to the very experiences you wish to escape. It keeps you anchored in a moment that is no longer here. Release it, and you release yourself. The same is true for self-criticism. You cannot build the life you want while punishing yourself for the person you used to be. Decide that you will speak to yourself as someone worthy of growth, not as a prisoner of the past. This process of release is not about pretending the pain never happened. It is about reclaiming your energy from the things that drain it without giving anything back. Picture yourself setting down a heavy load you have been carrying for far too long. Feel the relief in your body, the lightness in your chest, the space that suddenly opens for something better to enter. That space is the birthplace of new opportunities, new strength, and new direction. When you start your day unburdened, you move differently. Your decisions are sharper, your focus cleaner, your actions more decisive. You stop reacting out of fear and start acting from intention. You give yourself the full capacity to create, to build, and to progress without invisible weights holding you back. And you realize that every moment you spend in the present, free from the grip of what's behind you, is a moment of pure power. Choose to step into this day lighter than you were yesterday. Choose to bring only the strength you've earned, the wisdom you've gathered, and the vision you are building. Everything else belongs to the past. You have no obligation to carry it forward. Your future deserves a version of you that is free, focused, and ready, and that version begins the moment you decide to let go. When you remove the weight of the past, you create the mental clarity to see what truly matters right now. In this clarity, distractions lose their power and excuses dissolve. You no longer waste energy justifying why you haven't moved forward, because you are no longer negotiating with the chains that once held you. Your focus sharpens like a blade, cutting through the noise of the world and locking onto the actions that actually move you toward the life you want. Every moment begins to feel purposeful, because you are no longer scattered between yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's fears. This is the state where momentum is born. Momentum does not come from bursts of inspiration alone. It is built when you repeatedly choose progress over hesitation, action over doubt, and discipline over comfort. It is the invisible current that carries you forward once you've committed to a direction, but it only exists if you are willing to keep moving even when it's easier to stop. The smallest step taken consistently will always create more change than the biggest intention left unacted. You must protect this momentum with everything you have. Distractions will disguise themselves as harmless breaks. Doubt will whisper that you can slow down because you've done enough. Fear will suggest that maybe you should turn back before it's too late. These voices are not truth. They are the remnants of an old version of yourself that fears your growth. They know that once you pass a certain point, there is no return to who you used to be, and that is exactly why they fight so hard to keep you where you are. Your task is to drown them out with action, Not hurried, desperate action, but deliberate, intentional movement that aligns with your vision. Every choice you make is a signal to your mind about the kind of person you are becoming. Each disciplined decision strengthens the identity you are building until acting in alignment with your goals is no longer a struggle. It's simply who you are. When you reach that point, everything changes. You stop waiting for motivation because you understand that action creates motivation, not the other way around. You stop measuring yourself against others because you are too focused on surpassing your own limits. You stop fearing failure because you see it as fuel rather than a final judgment. And a final judgment. This is the freedom you gain when you commit fully to forward motion. It's not about how fast you go, but about refusing to stop. So move with purpose. Guard your focus. Protect your momentum as if your future depends on it, because it does. Every second you stay in motion, you are closing the gap between who you are now and who you are destined to become. And one day you will look back and realize that the version of you standing here today was only the beginning. Greatness demands that you refuse to settle for the shallow comfort of doing just enough to get by. It requires the relentless decision to push beyond what feels safe and familiar, into the space where growth demands effort, discomfort, and sacrifice. Every time you step beyond the edge of what you think you can handle, you expand that edge. You become stronger, sharper, and more unshakable. Comfort will always try to seduce you back into the life you've already outgrown. But comfort is a cage dressed up to look like freedom. Discipline is the force that breaks that illusion. It is the quiet, unshakable agreement you make with yourself that you will not lower your standards, no matter how tempting it is to give in. It is the daily choice to show up at full capacity, even when no one is watching, even when the reward is not immediate. Every disciplined act is a deposit into the life you are building, and the interest compounds in ways you cannot yet see. Skipping the work might feel harmless in the moment, but it robs you of the results that could have been yours. The world will not hand you the life you want. It will test you to see if you are truly willing to claim it. Obstacles will rise, not to stop you, but to measure how much you truly desire what you say you want. If your will collapses at the first sign of resistance, then you have not yet committed in the way you must. True commitment is proven when quitting feels easier, but you move forward anyway. It's in those moments that you separate yourself from the masses who only dream but never do. You must be willing to endure the stretch of becoming more than you are today. Growth is not gentle. It tears down the weaker parts of you so that the stronger parts can emerge. It will strip away excuses, shatter false beliefs, and force you to face the truth about what you've been avoiding. But on the other side of that discomfort is the version of you who commands their life instead of merely reacting to it. Every day you choose to act, you create proof that you are capable of more. Every choice to keep going when it's hard builds a foundation that cannot be shaken by doubt or fear. And the more you prove to yourself that you can endure, the less power those old limitations have over you. This is not just about reaching a goal. It is about becoming the person who cannot be denied. The one who does not wait for conditions to be perfect. The one who shows up, delivers, and keeps moving forward. When you become that person, the life you desire will not be a matter of chance. It will be the inevitable result of the standard you refuse to lower. The life you desire is not hidden from you. It is guarded by the demands you have not yet been willing to meet. Every dream has a price, and that price is paid in effort, in sacrifice, and in the refusal to be moved by temporary discomfort. The truth is simple but not easy. You will either pay the price now through discipline, or you will pay it later through regret. Regret is the heavier cost because it cannot be undone. Every moment you delay your own potential, you trade a piece of your future for the comfort of the present. That exchange is never worth it. The path forward is forged by those who dare to act without waiting for permission, without begging for reassurance, without needing constant proof that it will all work out. They move because they understand that progress is the proof. They do not wait for motivation to strike. They act, and through action they create momentum. And with momentum, even the heaviest challenges begin to break apart. You must train yourself to move when it is hardest to move, to persist when quitting would be justified to anyone else, to hold the line when the weight feels unbearable. In those moments, something powerful happens. You prove to yourself that you cannot be broken. That proof is more valuable than any external recognition because it becomes the anchor that holds you steady through every storm that follows. The battles you face within yourself will always be greater than the challenges outside of you. The voices of doubt, the lure of comfort, the whispers of fear, these are the true enemies. Defeat them once, and they return. Defeat them enough times, and they learn you are no longer a worthy target. But you must be relentless. You cannot fight halfway and expect to win. Your mind must be claimed fully, and once claimed, it must be defended daily. Every action you take toward your highest self is an act of defiance against the part of you that would rather remain ordinary. That resistance will never disappear, but it will grow weaker each time you deny it control. You will feel your strength rising, your clarity sharpening, and your sense of purpose solidifying. This is how transformation happens, not in sudden leaps, but in the consistent breaking of old patterns and the unwavering commitment to higher standards. When you live this way, the gap between who you are and who you want to be begins to close. Opportunities seem to find you, not by luck, but because you have become the kind of person who can see them, seize them, and execute on them. The world responds differently to someone who has claimed ownership of their path. And once you have become that person, nothing and no one can take that from you. Greatness is not granted to the ones who merely wish for it. It is forged in the silent hours when no one is watching. It is built in the moments when your body says stop, but your mind commands you forward. It is carved out of the choices you make when comfort is calling and challenge is pressing. Every decision becomes a brick, and every brick forms the foundation upon which your future will stand. If the foundation is weak, the weight of opportunity will crush it. If it is strong, nothing will shake it. You must become immune to the pull of excuses, because excuses disguise themselves as reason. They tell you that you can start tomorrow, that you deserve a break, that it's fine to slow down. But every time you listen, you weaken the muscle of discipline. Every time you obey the call of comfort, you step back from the life you claim to want. Discipline is not about denying yourself joy. It is about creating the conditions for joy to flourish without the shadow of regret. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when the results you want seem impossibly far away. This is the testing ground. This is where most people turn back, convincing themselves it wasn't meant to be. But the truth is, most people do not fail because the goal was unreachable. They fail because they could not endure the silence between effort and reward. That silence is not a void. It is the space where transformation is happening, where you are being shaped into the version of yourself capable of holding what you desire. The mind will always search for the easiest path, but the easiest path never leads to the deepest fulfillment. The mountain is climbed not because it is easy, but because what waits at the top cannot be found anywhere else. Every step up the slope demands more of you, and in giving more, you discover that you had more to give all along. This is the hidden gift of challenge. It shows you that your limits were never real. To live at your highest level, you must stop treating your potential as optional. It is not a side project. It is the core of your existence. If you neglect it, everything else suffers. When you commit to it fully, everything else aligns. You begin to move with purpose, speak with conviction, and act with clarity. People will feel the shift in you, but it is not for them. It is for the part of you that refuses to leave this world, having only tasted a fraction of what was possible. Every breath you take is proof that you still have time, but no guarantee of how much. The choices before you now remain as you are. or rise into the person you were always meant to become. The path will not wait. Neither should you. The gap between who you are and who you could be is not measured in years. It is measured in the decisions you make in this very moment. Every thought you entertain either builds you or breaks you. Every action you take either moves you forward or pulls you back. Life is not waiting for you to be ready. It is moving with or without your permission. The clock does not pause for hesitation. The world does not stop to give you space to decide if you are worthy. Worth is claimed in the fire of relentless action. When you choose growth, you choose to let go of the version of yourself that is comfortable but unfulfilled. We strip away the layers of doubt that keep you small. You dismantle the walls built from fear and replace them with the courage to be seen, to be tested, to be stretched beyond what feels safe. This is the point where your old life begins to crumble, not as a punishment, but as a necessary step for the new life to rise. Your environment will test you. People will question you. The voice within you will sometimes whisper that you are not enough. But every challenge is an invitation to prove that voice wrong. Every obstacle is a mirror reflecting back the strength you have yet to fully acknowledge. You are not fighting to become someone else. You are uncovering the power that was buried beneath years of doubt and hesitation. You must train your mind to see every difficulty as a chance to sharpen yourself. When something threatens to break you, decide that it will build you instead. When exhaustion presses in, decide that you will endure. The human spirit is far stronger than the limits we assign to it, but it only reveals its power when pushed to the edge. That edge is where transformation lives. The life you want will demand a level of focus most are unwilling to give. It will require you to trade distractions for discipline, excuses for execution, and comfort for progress. The exchange will feel heavy at first, but soon you will realize that what you gave up was nothing compared to what you are gaining. You will not regret the hours you invested in building yourself. You will only regret the ones you wasted waiting for the perfect time. Your future is not a distant reality. It is shaped here now, in this breath, in this choice. The moment you decide that nothing will stop you, the moment you commit without conditions, is the moment the path begins to open. You will walk it with strength. You will walk it with purpose. And when you reach the heights that once felt impossible, you will understand that it was never the mountain you conquered. It was always yourself.